this attack.
دبا ودد يعني زان أبو برسين دوام دكي أنا سر تسبيك يعني كذا جي هدفات تنكرتن وني تحتي بهرمها هدفات تنكرتن سبيل هدفات تنكرتن وحتى الجهير أنا جي جالي كي لسر حدود قصفي متبعي الحمد لله دوام.
The oppression is still continuing against our land, our people. Civilians have been targeted. Civilian critical civilian infrastructure have been targeted. Artillery shelling is used. Artillery pieces are used. We're seeing artillery shelling on the front lines, different kind of airstrikes and drone strikes.
بس أو يعني أوبريشن حتى أنا قالك طلعت بسلبي شيء ولسه قال لي ما قالك ضغطك مازال شكرا أو أو كرن هذا كده تر زرار هذه خدمات قالك مازال ده قال ما قالك مشتري استقلال.
The operation so far impacted the civilian lives and the civilian livelihood as well. A lot of pressure have been imposed on the civilians due to this Turkish attacks, Turkish strikes against us. Damage on the infrastructure, civilian infrastructure and services centers have been reported.
خبطة كمية أساسية وجو ديجي داعش وديجي ترول وكالرئيس بوليسون شباب إرشاد أبجدا خبطنا على حضرات السفيرة والفرمان.
We did have cooperation and coordination with international coalition forces against ISIS. Our joint operations, our joint work alongside international coalition forces here have been paused against ISIS, temporarily paused against ISIS because of the recent airstrikes.
يقولي كنا تركيا كنا نقولي داخلين دولة تركيا كنا هنا مسألة أوبريشن سرعة ديرا بإسرائيل دخلنا أوبريشن سرعة ديجي دست يمكن أمزارنا حاضرتي شلون بيت كان بيزق حاضر كان إذن كل بين سوري كوضع جريداي بحري مداغر كي ونجي ويرشي حاضر.
So far, and from the Turkish officials and Turkish president statements, it looks like the Turks are preparing, and we do have intel reports that Turks are preparing for a ground assault, and they have already told Syrian opposition factions who are supported by Turkey to be on high alert and prepared for a ground invasion.
براسي ما بكن وكيل سوريا الديمقراطية وقال يا من أمر به برسنة حتى ضيب شيء حتى ضيب أخبرنا أمجرا أمدنا وأمي الشعب بكن وأسباب واردة ما بين شركة مازن ولا شكرا وبلكي دولة التركية برسنة أسباب بكن أسبابه نكارم سرخين وكينغ بخازج نكارم بقدم.
Frankly speaking, Syrian democratic forces are ready to repel the attacks of the Turks and their proxies. Alongside our people, we will defend our land and repel these attacks. Yes, the Turks may start this operation, but I want to say that this operation will be much wider than any other operations before, and impacts and influences of this operation will not be limited as other previous operations.
Yes, قدم حق سيرة بيجن وتيبات كسي على قدر من في سوريا. فبيجن براسي أوبراسيون وورد شيء كنا اجتاحي عرضين. وقال لك تضعيتها سلبيها بين واحد كسي جبه زرار بين نتني بحرين واحد كسي زرار.
I want to say that despite that we are ready, we will defend our lands alongside our people, but if this Turkish operation is started, the impact, the negative impact and the negative influence of this operation will not be only against us and our people, but it will also be against all and impacting all these people who are interested in the Syrian file or who are influenced by the Syrian file.
As we body the way أكيد operation كبيرين تسوي كي جاري كتير وين يعني الملف السوري وبقى مربع الأول وبسكري جاري كتير بشكل بسكري كبيرة هون المجتمع دولي قاضي شهر السر كي إدارة كتير.
I believe if this operation is started, the Syrian crisis will go back to the first quarter, and a lot of the domains, a lot of files that the international community was trying to resolve in Syria will be undermined. All these international efforts will be undermined.
بالحاجة تبغى جيكونا أو جيكونا ترك خازن يرشي من خلق ترك هدف كل شغل بالي كرنا وخازن يرشي بكل بحر مثلا بدون إنسان يترهيا هاري كم قادم بدون إنسان بيزوهر منا كوش فرب بين وبخارج لك أزمة إنسان ما زندرخ.
Plus, this operation, if it starts, there are more than 1 million people living in the areas that Turks are planning to target. All these people will be immigrants or will be IDPs in other areas, heading towards safer or other areas, and this will bring a humanitarian disaster with it.
وذلك ديتر ده جوا يعني مثلا مرة كده عاش في التركية مش كبير على قدره دشاري داعش تقدرين ورد شكل أنا هذا حبسي ما قيمتي على داعش أنا كنت خطري فقال شيء كبير جدا شبيه وأنا جبن سيطرة من قطري التركية وجاري كده خطر داعش ورتر وأم نهار بيت حسين كداعش تزامن مع أمريكا التركية محتمل أو جبا حاضر كنا في شيء خاطر.
We do believe that more importantly are the security centers where we are holding ISIS fighters and the camps when we are holding ISIS family members are another threat to the region. We have started to see in parallel with the Turkish airstrikes and Turkish activities against us, there are additional movements and additional activities of ISIS cells.
بس كانوا بيجون كباب كان صار كانوا اجتماع الدولي قال تحالف الدولي قبض الديجيتال ولا بهريمه تم الشنطه أبونا جارك فحميتي كما خطري أما سوف جارك بقدر تسبيك مرة.
Undescribable efforts have been done by the SDF alongside the international coalition and the international community to undermine ISIS. All these gains that we have gained alongside these international powers here against ISIS will be at risk, will be risked and threatened.
حتى أنا بكي هالوسك مجتمع الهجرة دولة مجتمع الدولي هنا هالوسك أمريكا جهة أمازون تجي بينهم روسيا تجي بأخونا خطونا في فكرة أمازون رفتك عام هيج بوبي وبارسوني ل من قبل نيرن نقولي الوسط دولة التركية سربوني ودنيرن أبين إنتيرنك.
We have seen the international community respond, international community opposition, United States opposition to a Turkish ground offensive, but we have also seen statements, stronger statements, always coming from the Turkish officials and Turkish president, that they are insisting to launch this operation. Comparing the statements to each other looks like Turkish statements are stronger, and the positions that have been declared by these international players against Turkish ground offensive is not enough to deter the Turks from launching this offensive.
أنا بوريد أنا كوجبوك باير شتر كان ورثت نادن هن هروس كده آخر تردا رادع بترجع رجعت تبعي حمي كسين علاقة ده بملفر على القدر وكان من أوجي أو كنني باندور بين وكان ببيع شيء بدي استخدمه.
We believe that stronger statements, stronger position to oppose Turkish ground offensive is needed by all those players who care, and all those players are already involved in the Syrian file. Thank you for listening.
And now two questions from Hunter. You can speak.
Hi, can you hear me? Hi, hello. Good afternoon, General. I wanted to ask, you spoke with Reuters a little bit earlier.
Wait, please, wait.
Just a moment, please.
Sorry, say again.
Your position.
Okay. I'm a contributor to Inkstick Media. And I would like to ask you, General, you spoke with Reuters a little bit earlier. You mentioned that Turkey has mobilized a number of troops along its border with Syria. I was wondering if you could elaborate a little bit on that mobilization. What kind of troops have they mobilized? Where exactly have they mobilized? And earlier you mentioned that you expect this operation, if Turkey moves forward with it, to not be limited like previous operations. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that as well? Which cities, which areas are you expecting Turkey to target? Thank you.
يعني دولة التركية لسرح حدودي ما ترخيهم بري منطقة حدودي ما الشمالي نسكي كوب يعني ممجي ودرنا زين قواتي قوم كريان أنا هنا كرخي بابي نبر بابي موجود درك قواتي قوم زين قواتي إذا كده جريدة يكون كنا قواتي قوم زيادة كري لسه المنطقة عزازة ما قواتي قوم كي كوم ذكير أمبر هرما ترفعتين وأمجي تحفشات يكون التركي وهرما كنا جديد جرن أم بقولي بيجي تطبيق عسكري جرن.
Yes, we do see that the Turks are gathering some forces in the vicinities of Manbij, Kobani, and some forces between Manbij and Al-Bab. We're also seeing additional buildups of Turkish associated factions in the vicinity of Tal Rifat, in Azaz specifically. And we do see this buildups a serious threat. And we're doing our military preparations based on this movements.
نا إنك تسأقولي ما فهم كريه يعني ترك شخصية ترك إجمال أي فريقنا ترك نبي منطقي كوباني ومنبجي وترفعت بيجا منطقة كي زحفرة تبي أجر ترك بتهديد قبيك بينن وشغله وتم عني خد ويتبعي حدود التركي تبعي بالشر لكن ما زند فيه وشغله الشر ممكن محسوب به وأما جبر وشغله أبو الشر حمد لله فرد ومجد به شركي أبونا متنبه.
So Turks, on answering your second part of your question regarding mentioning and saying that this operation will not be limited, Your Mazloum's answer is Turks have been threatening the cities of Kobani, Manbij, and Tal Rifat. They have been saying this publicly on in all the occasions. If the Turks are serious, if the Turks are starting this operation, all the border will be facing a threat, and there will be war on all the border with Turkey, because for us it will be a matter of to be or not to be. This was the answer to both of your questions. Please, next.
The third question, Lara. You can speak, Lara.
This is Lara Seligman from Politico. Hi, thanks for doing this, sir. I'm wondering if you could talk more about the prisons. I think you mentioned before that the guards at the prisons that are manned by the SDF. Can you talk a little bit more about what's going on there? Are there still guards at those prisons, at all of them? Are all of the guards still there, or are you moving some of those forces for this conflict?
حسنا أنا باشا بركو داري تركان الوائرشان جي نسكي حبسة خستن مش قصة الحماية أو بقولي اللي خصت حيش تبالي مشيت كده بانزل بريد دارهم أبغيش كم مجموعة سياسة تبع بارسنا وحبسنا بقولي أنا جيك أما قايد كم بقولي داعش هناك حبسة دبكي أصينا بالي الصيانة بكن الصيانة شيء بكن برسي هذا كده رشيد تركان هذا كده جي بارسنا وحبسة زح الزور دبي شو كان محبسان بارزين يشكرك والسفن.
Well, the situation now in the detention centers and the camps also isn't very good. The security situation in this detention centers and the camp of Al-Hold camp is not very good. We have seen Turkish airstrikes taking place very close to one of the detention centers, and we have seen a Turkish airstrike targeting security forces of Al-Hold camp, resulting in the kill of 8 SDF members and eight security forces members and wounded of 15. We do need now to review the mechanism of the protection of these detention centers in Al-Hol camp. In addition, we are seeing reports, we're receiving reports about additional ISIS plannings to attack detention centers and the camp as well. So in order for us to be freely able to move, to be able to move freely and to provide the same security level that we were providing all this time to the detention centers in the camp, we need these Turkish airstrikes and targetings to stop.
طبعا الحزيجي انا صار هناك حبس الموت صار قام بولد
Biz Kürdistan'daki Baku'dakiler ve Türkiye'deki kadınlar ya bize ne İran'dan demiyoruz ya da Arjantin'de kadınlar yürüdüğünde.
Please mute, please.
انا بدي الحزيجي انت ريت الكون صار قام بولد هناك حبسات قرن ابوجي بس سبب وروشه بركت كده.
And until now, there are some Turkish unmanned combat aerial vehicles hovering over the detention centers where we are holding ISIS fighters. Thank you. Yes, done.
We are gently asking everybody on the journalist not to intervene without please have a schedule and we're going to give time for everyone to ask questions. Okay?
Please, admin, please, can you arrange the meeting, please? I see a lot of people raising their hands. If I may give the opportunity to one of them, or is the admin still there? We're not seeing any.
Hello, hi, it's Ruba from AFP. So I will just go ahead and ask. I will ask my question in Arabic and then I will translate it myself if it's not a problem. هذا المظلوم خلال عملية عسكرية تركية يجري الحديث عن انتشار أكثر لقوات النظام منعا لتمدد الأتراك في المنطقة. هل هناك طرح حاليا على انتشار أوسع لقوات النظام؟ وهل قصد مستعدة لأن تقبل بانتشار أوسع بعودة مؤسسات الدولة السورية للمناطق المهددة لوقف الهجوم التركي؟ Guys, I asked if SDF would accept a more deployment from the regime part or the regime institution return to the places, to the areas that are being threatened with the Turkish offensive.
أنا قلت رجيم هيكون هذا السر حدود بلغ بيقولي اتفاقات حصل ونوزده إجمالي كمازنة وحط أمكاني بجنش إذا ما بيترن بس كده يكون هيك إجمالي زيادة بالإجمالي ما وأزبط ما بقوتي كافية وش حركة سر بدي أكرمكو يعني حبيت شيء رسمي بس وقتش سوريا ده ليجبونا مؤسسات رجيم بقى من بحر منا أبا كبير كي شارع سياسي ده كده أجر أمو حكومة الشامية بهدرة بين اتفاق سياسي ووطني سياسي نفس كده ليه خلي أمريكا أزبط كنا تبغى حدود سوري أو تشا سوري ليه.
Well, regarding your question, the General Mazloum's answer is the Syrian regime forces have been deployed to the border with Turkey in a security agreement with the Syrian regime back in 2019, and there was additional forces deployed to the border later. The Syrian regime forces number is much higher than the forces we have on this border, security forces we have in the city close to the borders and on the border. Regarding the institutions coming back to this cities, Syrian regime institutions coming back to the cities, this depends on a political solution with the Syrian regime in Damascus. Thanks for your question.
This is Selina Al-Khaldi from CNN. Can I please ask a question?
Yes, you may, please.
Thank you. You may have briefly mentioned this, but I just want to go back to it. What are we seeing this time that is different to previous times President Erdogan has vowed to invade? And when exactly do you think the ground operation will begin? Thank you.
اللي بيجري أردوغان حدودك جاي خرج يرش خرج ضمن اللي جاك معي عنده يرش ذكر محددهم أنا طوي قريب ما كان هذا ممكن ما جي حطني حبتي كيلومتر كر هذا حركة سكر هذا متني وقتنا ما تدريش كرن هذا وهري باركشي حمد ريب بنيات تحتية وكرهدف أواجه تيخو يكرم كخوازي بلكي تدمير بكي نتن هدف عسكري رجيم سوريش كرهدف يريد عسكري رجيم سوريش هذا شباب أم بباوري دانك إرشاد حربية هدف أواجه تدمير كرنا إدارة ذاتي بالتركي قطعي شكل بوجبو كينغ غاس بيبكي از بارت كما وانا دولة الترك خوازي إيش بكي لبالي أو أنا حركة تستكن جاست نبض يزن تيبتي روسيا جي أمريكا جي أجر كشبا ورطانا أو كي زعيف ببين هرستي كي زعيف ببين بدمك كرتا إيش بكي يعني شيء بخوازي كنا ندري حفظة كي إيش بكي ولي عسكري ده أجر بخوازي بكي لبالي أجر ودولتنا هرستي كورت ببين
Well, the difference this time is previous Turkish operations we have seen in the past. They were limited to a specific zone, a specific area. But the latest Turkish attacks and latest Turkish offensive, we have seen that they were not limited. We have seen airstrikes very deep. We have seen random shelling and random airstrikes targeting civilian infrastructure. Syrian regime soldiers have been killed in these airstrikes. The attacks are aiming to destroy the self-administration or the autonomous administration of the region and to undermine all our efforts. Regarding the timeline you asked, we do believe that the Turkish state want to launch this operation, but so far we believe they are still thinking about reaction of countries and position of countries like the United States and Russia. It is militarily, it is a matter of a week if the Turks are not seeing strong opposition from actors like the United States and Russia. Thank you for your question.
Thank you. And now, Jared from Monitor have a question. Please, you can ask.
Yes, thank you. General Mazloum, I was wondering if you could tell us about your meeting with the Russian commander in Syria. What was said? Do the Russians still oppose Turkey's plans, or are they pressing you to make concessions? And what is your response? Thank you.
أو دخلج ما نكرن ما دخلج ممكن بيجن بإرشاد قصة تركان بسكنة مجرد مسار نقاش كذي التزامات اتفاق سوتشي هذا حظر الوزير نابر سر بوتين وسر تركيا أردوغان ده تيجيكرن في هاليده أم ظن أو التواصل عن دولة التركية رجي هنا أما موضوع أساسي أو يعني التزامات حرب الطرفين باتفاقات برداتي ما دولة خد بالك إنه عمدنا التزام بكن بندي واتفاقية لبالي قرب ترجي التزام بكن اشتخاف التسعيد ولا شيء.
Well, there was no demands from the Russian side. There was no request from the Russian commandership. We had demands in this meeting. We asked the Russians to ask everyone to stay committed to the 2019 Sochi agreement between President Putin and Erdogan. We have clarified to the Russians that we are ready to keep our forces and ourselves committed to the terms of the 2019 Sochi ceasefire agreement between both presidents of the Russian Federation and President of Turkey. Thank you. Yes, this was the answer to your question from Monitor, Jared.
Yes, if I could just ask a quick follow-up. General, you told my colleague Emran Zaman, and I can let her speak for herself certainly, that the bomber in Istanbul, according to your intelligence, not only had no connection to the SDF, but rather had connections to ISIS and to at least one of the Syrian National Army factions. I was wondering what evidence you can provide for this. This is a very important claim. And I think a lot of us would like to see further evidence of this. Thank you.
ما بري قلت بري تسبيك فيجن يعني تعلق ما بين الشرينين وأمدنكو اللي برسلك إن أبنا تقدر كيف أمزج أجوار أمدن حطاني جوابين وراسي أو دي كان قندي كو أجي كتر دل نسرد عندنا بلا تكن قندي بأم دراسات قدر كيف بيرد تكن حتى أنا أجي كتر كان دنا براغادين ربار بكنا ما ديتيك أكيد نوبي كنت بيجن يكون بيجن وبشر شركة طورت العناصر بري دراسات من دركت داعش أمنو بيوجد زون سوريا وجه جمعنا بري قد داعش بابات الكتاب داعشية وأساس تراني وعيرجي الهرم عفرين الهرم من سيطرة تركيا ده بدأ دوجي تركان هناك أبيدين كار بكرن راسي هم كانوا از أبيج بيجن تتكلي زي ما بوش شخصي تركان نابعني يكون نبي خبير بلاد حبشة شيء تتكلي وقت ما بيرنينا وما شفاق هذا حتى دوين هريت كسي وسجل زي ما درناك أنا دراسات خالد دوام تكلي بيش بكون راسي بي فعم بكون مجرى اشتراك من الزمان وأما بعد دمك كرطة أرفعك حاضر كلي مجرى اشتراك.
Well, thank you for our question. And General Mazloum's answer is, first of all, we do not have any ties to what happened in Istanbul, and we can provide all the assistance to an international investigation to start on this incident of Istanbul, explosion in Istanbul. Frankly, we are doing all assessments based on the news that are coming from the Turkish outlets, media outlets, and the names that have been mentioned on the Turkish media outlets. We have done in our investigation. We have searched the names that were mentioned on the Turkish media channels and in the Turkish reports, and we have collected some information about this personnel. All of this family now is living in the area of Afrin, and all of them are coming from an ISIS background. They have been affiliates of ISIS. I want to also mention regarding the names that Turks newly published yesterday, someone who is called Bilal Hassan, that the Turk claimed he has ties with the SDF. We here deny any ties to this person, and we will do our investigation to know also who this person are. In a short time, we will be publishing a report about the intel and all the details we have about this personnel. We will be sharing these details to the public opinion.
So guys, as you explained before,
excuse me, we are running out of time. We can receive 2 additional questions. May the admin give someone the chance to speak, please?
Hello, may I ask?
Hello. May I ask?
Sorry, I'm so sorry, but Kathleen and Subhi, the first Kathleen and next Subhi, please ask. I'm so sorry, but yeah. Subhi, you can speak. Maybe Kathleen is here.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon. I'm wondering if you were to be no longer able to maintain the same level of security at camps like Al-Hol, how would this phase out take place in a practical sense? And I'm also wondering if you could perhaps expand what you said about UAVs in the area. Thank you.
براسينا يعني بالضبط يعني تاكيد منكم شيء بس يعني بدنا كريش بالكو هي زي ما بدر كيت خطر انا زي ما بدر كان نبا ولا مشغول بفلسطين عائله داعش بيرتير بفلسطين خرا مشغول واشتي قد نيجي فيجن يعني اگر انا قداش وكي ما هي كيف بغير سر حسكي كرن هي زي ما جيش كبير مشغول طيب كي مازن دبر تشوف خد حبس فلسطين انا اگر غير كبير يجي وري تشيكر حسيان حبس كده شيء وإذا ما نقدر بعيني بفرماسية رجال بكيش برضو إيش تركارا مشغولة وبرستيج أو إنها أو يعني هيجي في خطر دوام ذكين مرسل 7 سنة أو سر حبسان هين أو دوام ذكين كشفت الكون دوام ذكين ولا دفع ذكرن مثلا إيه هو ليجي وإيه قامش ليجي وبان يجي راح من دره حبسي معنا حبسي في الجدة عشان الحمد لله أو ذكين خواتي وان دوام ذكين أيضا الدمكي ما فهم تركي يعني غير شقت يعني تركي يكسر خواتي ما هباش بالتحالف اللي تيجي داعش هدفته.
Of course, from all this, for all the reasons I mentioned previously, we cannot provide the same security level we were providing to detention centers and camps as well. I want to mention also that our forces will not be able to show and practice provide or the same performance they did back in January when ISIS jailbreak attempt was happening in Kebir prison in Hasaka city. This threat is still there since our forces are thinking about protection, self-protection more than thinking about the protection of these facilities. Their lives are at risk and they have been bombed. We've seen them be getting bombed. There are still Turkish UAVs operating over Al-Hol, Qamshul Detention Center and Kobani City as well. We are seeing obviously that because of the targeting of the security forces of the detention centers and the camps, Turkey is directly targeting joint efforts that we have been doing as the SDF alongside international coalition forces to undermine ISIS and continue our de-ISIS mission. Thank you for your question.
So like as you said before that the terrorists supervision has no time, so we are planning to but later we not hear the because all the
Thank you from all. Thank you from General Mazloum Abdi. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
And we want to say something, please, if you have a time. Just we two questions for Mr. Mazloum Kobani. Can I? Yeah. As it خاصة بكردي بوا بيشم برسيارة من جي أفا روش بشتي في أوبراسيون تشيبو و روشا كامبا أولي و أفا زندانيا دافوانا تشيلي ديت أفا إك و برسيارة دو جي أفا ك و قوتير روسيا وأمريكا سيرفي أوبراسيوني تركيا سر روش أفا هیچ وعدك وان هي بو يعني تشتكي قوتيا بو هاليكاري دكن يعني برجري اللي بتكن اوبراسيون نتكرن قال لك اسباس
نجمو حبسان او مدبرج دبوخ يكن ورا راسي خطر هي يعني وانا تركان إرشا حمايه حبسا كرن حمايه خيمه ولكن والاولي ما شهيد كتن وانا جهنت تاري تركان الثروه داران دخلن ابا خطر كي مزن شيء كريه محاولتي كرداني ربي عيد عشبن خيمة ولي ما قلت أنا مكان بيجنكي حبسوا وخيمة ولي أنا دابك خطرك ما زندانة أو خطر جي إن دوام بكي جبوك بقى خطر بالساكنة بيست قصص بمردمان تاريخ في بحر مانا بالساكنة جبوا أولاني ما بكسن على قدارة روسيا بريتش أمريكا بد الدوام بكن برادر أمريكا رج دوام بكن روسيا رج دوام بكن جبيني ما جيت من قبل ما تستندي جي حتى ما هو كان حد الطرفين جي روسيا جي امريكا جي او كل تجي اوبريشن كي عرضيه تركينا وانبار كم تركا جي وداني وان هنا قبل انفيد فيجن ثاني تجدر خستن الاوبريشن ثاني تيرينو كي داخليش ثاني تيرينو كن كرك هبس كي داخل البيت هبس كي خورت به ورادع به يعني يجبوكو كاربن فايرش تركان بدن روس
Excuse me, guys. Thank you for all the attendees. We are running out of time. Thanks to all of you, and have great days. Please, thank you.
Guys, sorry because the was busy and we have no time. The next stage of the next week, the contracts as always. As a whole, we have to do so you can share the news.
تخزن بيجن إنه جبر الرصيد مع جنرال يبجار كنبو جبر بيكي أم نشارن وأم بداوي بكن لي دروجين بيد أم تقارن ديسا كونفرنس على داخلين وهر يعني أبي كياجي هاتيتو ماركرين أم دورا لينكا وينا والبارفكن جلكس باس. Thank you from all.